Ladies and gentlemen, very pleased to welcome the Shadowcat, Jihin Radzuan. Very good to see you, Jihin. It's been ages. Haven't spoken to you in a while. And you are back in action against Jenelyn Olsim at Bad Blood, February 11th. This was a recent addition to the card. How have you been and how pleased are you to be back?
I've been great. I've been in training for the past, after Big fight, and then I was preparing for fights actually, but then because of the pandemic, lockdowns, and then some, circumstances that I cannot avoid. So you haven't heard me about me for a while now, but here I am preparing for Jenelyn.
How do you feel about facing Jenelyn? It's an interesting one for you because she's ranked at strawweight. So a win here would do good things for you, right?
So I think it's more or less it's about the same. I think our walking weight also is about the same. Just because she's fighting in strawweight before doesn't mean that I'm smaller than her. We are just make weight in our weight category.
She was also, was she ranked at atomweight at some point? Just in terms of what this does for your career, do you think this gets you back into the top 5, a win over her?
Sorry?
Do you think a win against her will get you back in the top 5?
How do you say? Okay, because I'm sorry for my cat. She had a chance to fight Ritu Fogate in Grand Prix, which is very good for her. And I think if I win this fight, it's gonna make me boost up my name, go back to the rank that I'm supposed to be. So I think, yeah.
How was it for you? Because I remember when the news came out of the atomweight Grand Prix, a lot of people were having fun speculating who's going to be in it. And we were talking about, will Jihin be in it? Were you disappointed not to be in it? And what was it like kind of watching it unfold?
So because as you know that my last bout with Union was supposed to be for alternative for Grand Prix they told, and I was very happy about it. I'm very happy because it's maybe it's my shot for the the belt, but I'm not I don't feel that I have to be disappointed until now, because I believe that I have another opportunity in future.
What did you think of, you got the win over B, but she also beat Ritu Fogate, who got to the final. I know you can't do maths in MMA, but was that interesting for you?
It was very interesting for me because both of them are wrestler, Poga is she's very famous with her wrestling, skills. Nobody can avoid her takedown and everything. But then when you see the epic fight between them is very mind blowing, because I thought it's really my thought. I thought we do win on the wrestling part, but striking wise is all the way for Big Win.
How did you feel about the final between Stamp and Ritu? Were you surprised to see Stamp pull off a submission?
It's very surprising. She has for many years she's been focusing on striking, and then she just pick up MMA in back, I think 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and then she is very fast learner, and her techniques also is quite decent for the counter back, the takedown and the submissions.
Do you think that she'll cause an upset over Angela, or are you just picking the champ for that one?
It's very hard for me to predict it now, but for now, I think I will, for ground game or from grappling wise, I think I will vote for Angela, and for striking wise, I think I will vote for Stamp.
So it's an interesting matchup. So how about Jenelyn? Where do you think you're stronger than her? You both got wins over B from the judges. She lost to Ritu in her last fight. Where do you see yourself winning this one?
So Olsim, she's very well-rounded fighters. you have seen her fight. She finished her opponent before, and she won against like striking. And then there's some point that you can see that when she's not leading the fight, the rounds, she will like tend to back up. So I think I'm more aggressive than her, and I think my striking is more like technical than her, and my ground game also, like, not to look down on hers, but I think mine is better, like on grappling wise. I have more experience in grappling. Yeah.
If you look at your record, I mean, your only losses came against Gina In-Yong, who's an excellent fighter, and Denise Sambuanga, who was the #1 contender for a long time. Do you feel like kind of that shows just how strong you are? That maybe if you'd had more fights, that you would be high up in the rankings, because you were still young when you fought those girls, right?
Yeah. So like for the two losses of mine against Zamboga and In-Yong, it wasn't my day, to be honest. Like, if you can see the fight, it was I lost by split decision with In-Yong, and UD with Zamboanga, and both of them had more damages from like by me, like more than me. Like, you can see my face is very clean and everything, and then like with In-Yong, she had nose bleeding, and what's that, Zamboga, she has more bruises than me. So it just not to say that I'm too young that time. It's actually my, like, I'm not that picky type of fighters. Like that time, I think like if they pair me with more experienced fighters, it's because I'm deserved it, and I'm going to show my techniques, and that I deserve the fight. So maybe if they give it now, like I learned my lesson from the previous fight, I think I could do it better now.
Do you think you've leveled up since then? Do you think you've evolved and kind of used this time to take your game to another level?
Sorry, pardon?
Do you think you've leveled up in this time that we haven't seen you? Have you used this time to take your game to another level?
Of course. Of course, I learned my lesson, and I've been watching all of my fight, and I figure out what I lack of, and what I should improve in. So I think I will be like peak in my peak.
Do you feel kind of ready to unleash against Jenelyn, because you've missed out for a year? Do you feel kind of ready to explode here and get a big statement in some ways?
So I heard a lot about this. Like, they said like maybe I will experience ring rust, cage rust, or something. I think it's not it's not my choice not to fight. Like, it's because of the pandemic and everything. And as I mentioned back, my last bout with Nguyen also, I was off for 1 year. So I did perform like I usually perform. So I think this time it should be okay. Like, because I've been drilling in the cage also, I try to get the real feeling. So I think it should be okay for me. Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the state of the division right now? Atomweight, I feel like, has never been this exciting in one. There's never been this much competition. But do you look at that top 5 and say, I could beat all of those girls?
I'm not that cocky to say I can beat all of them, but then if I train very hard, I can, like I can outstanding them. And actually know that every fight that I try to show like the best of me. I'm not trying to win only, and I'm trying to show that to people that Asian like me, like this is very common. Like, people say Asian country, and then they will say like, somehow I'm from Malaysia, and like it's like very small country, and it's very infamous. Like, it's not famous of MMA. So I want to show them that I could be there also. Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about this win bonus? Because you've got some great submissions in your career. Does that inspire you to put out something special here and get 50K?
Of course. I mean, like, of course, fighting is not about money. It's about the passion, your passion in martial arts. But then like I think like after they announced about this fight bonus, it's like very exciting for us because like like it's like a jackpot. It's not really a jackpot, but it's jackpot. Then it's like drive us to like perform well better.
Do you have a bit of a rivalry going with the Philippines now? I mean, Gina, Jamari, Denise, three Filipinas in a row. So do you have that kind of building fighter rivalry with them now?
I don't think that we have some sort of like rival, like when I think of that fighters, I don't think about where they're from. I'm just thinking about they are in my weight division. So like it or not that I will face them. Like I don't see the nationality, like I think they are very friendly, like Filipinos are very friendly, and when fighting to them, like it's like sparring kind of vibe, like you are fighting, but then you can feel like you are sparring with your training partner like that.
It was kind of a glory days for a Malaysian MMA like several years ago, and I feel like the pandemic has been hard on the scene. So do you ever feel like a big win for you will really help the scene get excited again about Malaysian fighters? Because it's not been an easy few years, I think it's fair to say.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I kind of lost you there.
Sure. I was just saying, like, several years back was kind of a golden generation for Malaysian MMA, but the pandemic really was tough for Malaysia and the scene. So do you ever feel like a win here would kind of get people excited about Malaysia again and Malaysian MMA, Malaysian fighters? Because I think the scene maybe needs some good news. Do you get that sense?
Yeah, of course. Like as you can see that pandemic is really hit us hard, and plus that sport in Malaysia, like they restrict sports in Malaysia, like you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you have to apply this, you have to apply that, and they don't encourage sports in Malaysia, and there's some political issue in sports. So I think like this match, if I win this match, is like really a big hit for Malaysia because like like after a long time during pandemic, athletes cannot train themselves in the gym or in their centers or anything, and when during Olympic also you can see like Malaysian athletes not performing well because of the pandemic again. They cannot like train themselves because of the restriction and everything, and I'm gonna show them that in Malaysia, even though we are in the middle of pandemic, and like we are trying to improving our life, our economy and everything, and like I hope to bring the good news for Malaysia, because you see like there's not many Malaysian athletes fighting in one championship. That you can only hear Jihin, Agilan, that's all. I just want to bring them like like Malaysian them back.